everyone, and welcome back to the Football Chuggu Podcast. My name is Thomas Durning, and today I'm joined by my co-host, Pearse McLaughlin. Hello, Pearse.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm doing well. And we also have a debut on the podcast today in the name of Tommy McLaughlin. Hello, Tommy.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. On today's podcast, we'll be reacting to the latest football results from the English Premier League, Scottish Premier League, and also last weekend's El Clasico. We will also be discussing this year's Ballon d'Or awards, and Pearse will be giving a rundown of all the latest Asian football news. So coming up next, we'll be reacting to last weekend's English Premier League results. So I'll just quickly go through them. So it finished Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 2, Chelsea 0, Brentford 2, Bournemouth 2, Burnley 1, Arsenal 5, Sheffield United 0, Wolves 2, Newcastle 2, West Ham 0, Everton 1, Aston Villa 3, Luton Town 1, Brighton 1, Fulham 1, Liverpool 3, Nottingham Forest 0, and Man United 0, Man City 3. So Pearse, starting off with you, which match or matches stands out to you the most and why?
Well, in terms of the title race, and obviously the match that stand out to me, it would definitely be the Friday night match, which was the Crystal Palace 1, Tottenham 2. And also I think we're going to touch on the Manchester derby. So it's Manchester United 0, Man City 3. But I think we'll first start with the Crystal Palace game at Selhurst Park against Tottenham. And again, I thought Tottenham played like potential top 4 / title contenders. Like I thought it was a very professional performance. Again, another really good result away from home. And they just go from strength to strength. Son with another goal to add to his tally. His impressive tally at the start of the season. So I think that was a standout fixture for me. And Ange Ball just keeps rolling on and just kind of putting up result after result, and it's refreshing to see in terms of the really attacking style of football. In terms of the Manchester derby, I thought Man City comfortable winners in the end. I don't think Manchester United really laid a glove on the rivals at all, and you can just see a golfing class between the two sides, and that's now Man City starting to pick up consistent results and closing the gap on Tottenham to now 2 points. So in terms of the title race, it's heating right up.
Yourself, Tommy?
I'd have to say, I'd agree with the Manchester derby because I watched it live, and I have to say, like, Man City, they just have so much kind of quality compared to Manchester United, because I feel as if since Ten Hag's taken over, I feel as if Manchester United have just lost the quality that they used to have, and I feel as if he's a massive part of that because he's got so much kind of personality that he's not going to give it up. And I feel as if Pep Guardiola, his tactics are just amazing. Like, he's got Haaland and De Bruyne playing off each other, and it's just hard to stop.
Yeah, I think there's only one match for me as well that stands out, and that was what you were just talking about, the Man United Man City match. It was as a comfortable performance from Man City. It's probably their best performance of the season as well. And also just point out Aston Villa beating Luton Town 3-1. I think that's their 12th home win in a row or something. So so day 2 results for me stand out the most. I would say Chelsea in the Brentford game, but I don't think that's much of a surprise anymore, to be honest. So we also had English teams playing in Europe last week, and they included Man United and Copenhagen, which finished 1-0 Man United. We had Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2, Newcastle 0, Dortmund 1, Young Boys 1, Man City 3, Olympiacos 2, West Ham 1, Brighton 2, Ajax 0, Liverpool 5, Toulouse 1, and AZ 1, Aston Villa 4. So what do you think about the kind of matches? Is there one there that surprised you or stands out to you? What do you think?
Well, I think two results that stand out to me. So it'd be Manchester United 1, Copenhagen 0. and Sevilla 1, Arsenal 2. So in terms of Manchester United getting their first victory of the Champions League group stage, which is massive for them. And again, they didn't have the greatest of games. They struggled to really create anything and break the Danish side down. And obviously managed to get a goal through the man that gets stick constantly from the fans, and that's Harry Maguire, which I feel as if it's unmerited at times, and I do feel as if that was kind of hopefully a turning point for him, because I think he is a quality defender. Just that he's like a scapegoat at times, and obviously we all know he's not got a real burst of pace, but the fact is, the defence has got plagued with injuries, and he's been one of the standout performers recently. And then obviously Andre Onana saving the penalty at the end, kind of winning back some of the critics, because he's had a woeful start to his campaign as Manchester United goalkeeper. And of course, it had to be saved against former Manchester United and obviously former Barcelona and Celtic striker Henrik Larsson's son Jordan, which you expect him to just put it away, but obviously guess right, and good big hand to get the 3 points. And in terms of Sevilla Arsenal, I thought Sevilla is usually quite a hostile place to go to for many teams in Europe, and they're the Europa League serial winners. So for Arsenal to go and get a 2-1 win, and at the end it looked quite comfortable, and obviously some quality goals on show as well. And I thought Gabriel Jesus' goal was the pick of the bunch, and Arsenal just go from strength to strength as well.
Aye. What about yourself, Tommy?
I'd definitely say the Man U Copenhagen game, because I feel as if, like, when I was watching the game, I feel as if they've not got really a leader in the team. They kind of, yes, they beat Copenhagen, but Copenhagen are not like a massive, like, kind of European team. Yes, they make it into Europe every year, but like they're not going to like win the Champions League. So like you expect Man U to beat them, but only by 1 goal. Wasn't a very good performance, and I feel as if Bruno Fernandes is not a leader for them. They need to change captain or get someone that can actually lead the team.
I agree. I think Bruno Fernandes, he just moans, and I think he just moans too much. And when the team's not doing well, I don't think he really acts well. When you compare to Roy Keane, for example, he was like the perfect leader. So I agree with that. But the match that stands out to me, is probably the Brighton Ajax game, just because that's Brighton's first ever win in Europe, and the fact that they beat a club like Ajax, who the history they've got, with the European football, European titles they've got. They've been semi-final of Champions League like a few years ago, and then just it's not really related to European matches, but I think that's Ajax bottom of the table now in the Dutch league, which is mental. That's a lot of trouble there at the moment. So that game stands out to me the most, just because of the fact that Brighton won their first ever European match, and the fact that it was against a top side like Ajax. So we will now move on to discussing last weekend's Scottish Premier League matches. So I'll just quickly again run through the results. So it was Hibs 0, Celtic 0, Livingston 0, Dundee 2, Motherwell 3, Ross County 3, St Johnstone 4, St Mirren 4, St Johnstone 0, Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 0, and Rangers 2, Hearts 1. So just quickly before we kind of talk about the results, it was on Sunday we found out that the St Johnstone manager, Steven MacLean, was sacked after his side were defeated by St Mirren. So anyone is there a match there or matches that stands out to you?
Yeah, I think I'm going to go with 2 matches. I think the Hibs 0, Celtic 0, and St Mirren 4, St Johnstone 0. So I think we'll start with the one at Easter Road. Thought it was a pretty dull affair. There wasn't really many clear-cut chances for either side. I think a draw in the end was a fair result. And obviously Celtic dropping points and allowing Rangers to close that gap, which they did on Sunday. But no, I thought that wasn't a great spectacle. And obviously I think the fatigue of the midweek game in Europe really took out the Celtic side, and there wasn't many changes from that side. And the European hangover, it was evident because there was just a lack of energy and a lack of sharpness in Celtic's play. And Hibs following the humbling from Rangers the week before, which was 4, probably going on 10 at times. They were really resolute, and they stopped Celtic from cutting them open. And I thought that was a really good performance from them. And in terms of St Mirren, St Johnstone, St Mirren 4-0, another fantastic result, and another great start to the season they're having as well. And Stephen Robinson is just going from strength to strength, and that team is just so solid. And there's a reason why they're in the top half of the table and pushing for the European places, because they don't give up many goals, and when they go forward, they're a handful for teams in terms of set pieces and knockdowns and stuff like that. So I think that is a standout fixture for me. And obviously, St Johnstone going through a turbulent time at the moment, and but regardless, you can only beat what's in front of you, and St Mirren are doing that time and time again.
Any ad, Tommy?
I'd have to say the Celtic game kind of stood out to me because when I was watching it, I feel as if, as Pearse said very, very accurately, like it was a very fair result, 0-0, because I felt as if Celtic didn't create enough, and there's some chances that they could have scored, and also Hibs had some chances they could have scored, and I felt as if the refereeing in the match was very, very bad. It was very, very consistent, and I feel as if like the Scottish League's it's consistent. The referees are always like horrible throughout every game in the Scottish Premiership.
Yeah, the game for me, that Motherwell Ross County game looked like a great game. There was like I think up till 70th minute that was 0-0 in that game, and then there was like last 20 minutes it was just 6 goals. I think Motherwell scored in the last minute. I think it was that 17-year-old. I think he was only like his second appearance or something for Motherwell, so that's quite a good story of that. But the biggest game for me is the St Mirren St Johnstone game. Obviously, St Johnstone manager getting sacked. I think they haven't won a game yet in the league. They've had a really tough time at the moment. It looks pretty bleak for them at the moment. I think Neil Lennon's touted as kind of taking that job. I think he was asked about it. I think he wouldn't mind taking it. So keep your eye out for that one. So yeah, the game for me that stands out is it's the St Mirren game. But we had also teams last week playing in Europe, in Scotland. So there was just 3 of them. And the results were Celtic 2, Atletico Madrid 2, Sparta Prague 0, Rangers 0, and Aberdeen 2, PAOK Salonika 3. So again, any one of these, well, actually, we're just going to go through them, actually. So we'll just start with the Celtic game. So what did you think about that?
So Celtic game, I thought Celtic were outstanding for probably about an hour of the game, and then they just kind of tired towards the end, and Atletico Madrid showed their class in terms of substitutes, which added freshness and energy, and obviously the kind of Celtic were kind of clinging on at the end in terms of they had to change shape to a 5 at the back system to bring more solidity, and then obviously the front line was tiring because you had to take off Kyogo and Luis Palma, but no, got off to the perfect start, and unlucky not to win the match in the end. But at that level, you're going to have moments against you, and obviously Atletico Madrid punished Celtic in the moments that they had. Very few, to be honest, but I thought Celtic were outstanding in terms of the way they moved the ball, the quickness of the speed of the play, the pressing to win the ball back, and I thought the assist and the movement for the first goal was outstanding. Celtic off to a phenomenal start, and Matt O'Reilly yet again proving why he's having the season in his life so far. Kyogo another Champions League goal, which is now two in 3 matches for him, which is a monkey off his back from last season because he never scored in the Champions League at all. But no, I thought that was a phenomenal result. I don't know if it'll be enough to potentially see Celtic through into the European football beyond Christmas, but it certainly was a great performance by them.
You agree, Tommy?
Yeah, I would agree. I would also like to add as well, a lot of people are talking about like a lot of the penalty decisions. For instance, Atletico Madrid, they got a very soft penalty, and Celtic could have had a penalty with scales. But I would also like to add, like, Atletico Madrid played very, very well, so I think it's a fair result, the 2-2. And if you think about how impressive Atletico Madrid's lineup is, I would take a 2-2 draw over a loss any day.
Yeah, yeah, I thought it was a great performance to Celtic as well. As you just said there, Tommy, the quality of Atletico Madrid, it's all there to see, especially Antoine Griezmann, who
Hmm.
I think's a brilliant player. I felt Celtic deserved to win in my opinion. I think they've done enough in the game to win. But I just want to ask you, do you think Celtic will get into the last 16?
I don't think Celtic into the last 16. I think they've shown that they can compete against those sides, but it's just fine margins. And I think obviously taking only 1 point from Porcelain 9 is not enough. But I do think Celtic will potentially qualify into the Europa League in the third place.
What do you think, Tommy? Yeah or no?
I'm going to remain hopeful. I'm going to say yes, because I can see the quality that Celtic have in the midfield and the chances they can create. It's just if we can withhold the pressure of attacks from the other positions, because there's so much quality in our group. So I know we can score goals. It's just if we can hold off conceding goals. That's the main kind of forte, I would say.
Yeah, I just don't think they have enough, to be honest. Just because of the fact that, I think the home games you need to win them all, in my opinion, to kind of get to the last 16. But I think they're in for a chance to get to the, Europa League. I think the fact that they had to get something from that game last week against Atletico, and the fact that they have, I think that gives them a real good chance of getting to Europa League. But also, we have to point out that Hatate got injured last week and he's now out. It got confirmed, I think, yesterday that he's out until after Christmas. And Celtic have big games coming up in Champions League, so yeah, that's an interesting one. So that might be a big blow. That's a pretty big blow for them. So I just don't think they'll have enough, but still think they're in for a chance for Europa League. Yeah, so Sparta Prague Rangers 0-0. My opinion, it wasn't the greatest game to watch, to be honest. I thought Rangers kind of struggled really in that game, away from home, but they did manage to get a point. And an away point in Europe's it's crucial. Will be used to disagree what I said or see
Yeah,
anything different.
yeah. Second, your thoughts on the match. I really think that Rangers put in a really poor performance. Struggled to get any foothold in the game, and I didn't think they really created anything of note. But yet again, you can see why the sign of Jack Butland has proved to be successful so far. I think he's been the signing of summer for Rangers out of the summer recruits from Michael Beale. He made at least about 4 or 5 ridiculous saves to keep them in the tie, in the game. And also I think a point away from home against Sparta Prague is a good result, because they're a good European side. And that's obviously Abdullah Sima's old side as well, so he'd have known all about them. And obviously Rangers went into the match without a recognised left back, because obviously Yilmaz wasn't registered and Barisic pulled up an injury last weekend as well, so the week before, sorry. So that was they had to reshuffle obviously Clement, and then obviously I think taking a result away from home's good in terms of a point, because obviously the next match is now Sparta Prague in a couple of weeks at Ibrox. I think Rangers would fancy their chances at home. So I think not losing it, the match was a terrific result, and obviously that now leaves them on 4 points from 3 matches.
Yeah. What about yourself, Tommy? Do you think? What do you think about the match?
I'd have to agree with Pearse's opinion. Jack Butland has been outstanding for Rangers. The back line has not been very strong at defending, and I would also say I like to add I think they're missing Ryan Kent. I know Ryan Kent wasn't really big game player, but he did run at defenders and take them on. He didn't have the best record, but he was also just creating chances. And I feel as if Rangers the players that they brought in, they brought in 4 strikers, and they're just nullifying their chances. They're not very agile, and they're just like kind of hold up strikers, all of them. So they're all the same type of strikers. I think they've just wasted a lot of money.
Yeah, I actually agree with Ken. Like, in a way, I think Morelos as well a wee bit. Just that kind of, you know, I think they missed some sort. I think they're missing something up front. Morelos was quite a presence up front, and you know when he was on it, you know he would kind of he gets stuck in a lot, and I think he's their top scorer. Their top scoring. I don't think anyone's scored more European goals than him for
That's
Rangers.
true, aye.
So you know, so you know, you know what I mean. Like it's you know, that's a big miss. That so I do think they are missing some key players for last season. You know, and I think you know, like Ryan Kent, as Tommy said, you know, I think he is quite. I think although he didn't really come up with a lot of goals and assists, you know, he was always a threat in the game, and I think Rangers kind of do miss that at the moment. You know, so yeah, and then finally, we've got the Aberdeen Payot game. You know, we've got Tommy here with Aberdeen top on. I don't know how he's feeling here, but yeah, that was a mental game. That was crazy. You know, obviously Aberdeen 2-0 up, and then the last kind of 20 minutes or so in the game, Payot managed to get 3 goals. What do you think?
How do you go, Tommy?
I'd like to start, yeah. I'd have to say, like, they had a great start to the game. Like, they were like dominating, like the chances and the creations was outstanding. It was like Aberdeen that I know and love. And when it came to the penalty decision they should have had with Jack McKenzie getting cleaned out in the box and play on, I felt as if it kind of took a little bit of the spirit out of the Aberdeen team, and that's when they kind of crumbled and conceded the 2 extra goals. So I think it was 2-1 at the time. And I think they just fell away at the time, and I feel as if they felt as if the referee was against them, and they just lost the spirit when Jack McKenzie didn't win the decision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Pearse?
I totally agree with Tommy. I think Jack McKenzie decision was a game changer in terms of it was for me it was a Stonewall penalty, and obviously at that time it was 2-1, and obviously if Aberdeen then go 3-1 up, then at home you expect them to go and see the game out, but then you're still only a goal in front with 2-1, so and obviously Palk then get a goal, and then obviously they nick the winner at the end. And like we said, we touched on last week, Palk's a great European side in terms of they always usually punch above their weight, and Greek sides, home and away in Europe, have been putting up some terrific results, not just against Scottish sides, but also against English sides as well. So no, I think that was a sickening blow for Aberdeen, and hopefully they can bounce back because, like Tommy said in the first half, I thought they were outstanding.
Yeah, so did I. I was, you know, that's a kick in the stomach, that result. The fact that you go 2-0 up, you know, and I think the fact now they've lost that game, I think the chances of getting out the group and into the knockouts, I think's disappeared a wee bit. You know, especially the fact the game is at home as well. Yeah, so I feel for you, Tommy. Feel for you. Maybe next time. So I will just quickly talk about the El Clasico match, which was at the weekend. So that was Barcelona Real Madrid. That finished 2-1 Real Madrid. You know, so obviously Jude Bellingham, you know, got the 2 goals for Real Madrid. I think one was in the last minute as well, which meant that Real Madrid won the game. And that also extends Real Madrid's gap between Barcelona and Real Madrid. You know, Real Madrid now in a stronger position ahead of Barcelona. So, what did you think about the match? What do you think about just Jude Bellingham? You know, it's amazing at the moment what he's doing.
Yeah, I think Jude Bellingham's going from strength to strength, and I don't think anyone's ever seen or predicted the meteoric rise from Birmingham City to Dortmund to then Real Madrid, where he just hit the ground running. And as a central midfielder, I think he's more of a box-to-box midfielder. But the fact is, with Real Madrid losing Karim Benzema unexpectedly in the summer, because they were all prepared for losing him in 2024, and that's when they were planning on moving for Kylian Mbappe, who I still think will go. But Bellingham's being asked to play as basically like a false 9, and the numbers he's put up is like, and it's almost like kind of Cristiano Ronaldo in his first season at Real Madrid. So unheard of from midfielder, and he's never really been a goal scoring midfielder in terms of numbers. I don't think he's broke 10 goals a season in his professional career so far. So, and to do it at probably one of the biggest clubs in the world, and the fact is the amount of goals he's scoring, they're not just like you say, a goal when you're winning 3-4-0. It's like last minute winners like every week now. And obviously he got an equaliser through the Clasico by hitting a top corner straight from 25 yards. And then a poacher's goal in the last couple of minutes. So no, I think he scored in his La Liga debut, his Bernabeu debut, his Champions League debut for Real Madrid, and obviously the El Clasico debut, scoring 2 goals, which is an amazing achievement. And in terms of the El Clasico result, I think that's an amazing result for Real Madrid, and obviously Real Madrid are quite favourable to get results away from home. Both sides are. I don't know what it is in this fixture, but both sides seem to pick up better results away from home. But also, I would like to touch on the fact it's a top of the league joint with FC Girona, who I think again are the kind of underdog story this season in La Liga, and potentially could do a Leicester City and hopefully win the league, because that would be an unheard of achievement, because they've only spent 11 million euros this summer and they lost 4 key players from last season.
And Tad, Tommy?
I'd have to say, with the money that when Jude Bellingham got bought, I was quite skeptical, because it's a massive pressure of the price tag of 100 million. But you have to take, this guy does not mess about. He actually retired his number at Birmingham City. That means he knows for business. And he also, before he went to Real Madrid, I think it was Dortmund or something, he went to Man U talking to him, and he didn't go to them because they weren't giving him first team football. And he says, I know my value, and he's just proven his value. He's just putting up the numbers for Real Madrid, and I'm just going to put it out there. I think he could actually be a potential Ballon d'Or winner with the stats he's putting out, because you think about, that's like a striker's stats, and he's a centre mid, and I even compare him to Musiala, but he's far more influential than Musiala will ever be.
Yeah, I agree. I think I bet the Ballon d'Or, I think he's going to end up winning it. The way he's going, it's ridiculous. It really is. Also, the fact he had the pressure of having the number 5 shirt. That was what was the damn war at Real Madrid, and he's just come in, and it's just going every game. It's like I never expected it. I don't even think he was that prolific at Borussia Dortmund, to be honest. But I think he's just been given more kind of freedom at Real Madrid. I think he's playing higher up the pitch as well, and I mean what a start to his career at Real Madrid. It really is. He's fastly turned into it could. I mean, I think it's too early to say he's a legend, but no, it's far too early to say that, to be honest. But the way he's going at the moment, it's I mean, it's scary, to be honest. Like the heights he can reach. So yeah, but in terms of the result as well, it's a great result for Real Madrid. It's obviously it's great to beat Barcelona away from home as well. And you're right, Pearse. There does seem to be something that they always win away from home rather than at home. So yeah, brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. So we also had the Ballon d'Or ceremony yesterday at the time of recording this. So I'll just quickly say that Lionel Messi won his 8th Ballon d'Or of his career. Jude Bellingham won Best Talent, in the world. Emiliano Martinez won Best Goalkeeper in the world. And Erling Haaland won the Best Striker of the Year award as well. So do you agree with these awards, or do you think somebody else deserved an award? What do you think?
I don't necessarily agree with the Ballon d'Or award. I don't think Messi deserved it, in my opinion. I think he had a phenomenal World Cup, but he did score 6 penalties in the lead up to the trophy. And obviously, like you said, it's a Ballon d'Or for the calendar year. It's not just a Ballon d'Or for 2 months or a month. And also that was back in November, the World Cup in Qatar. That was 2022. And I don't think he had the best of seasons last year at PSG. When it came to the crunch games in Champions League, he was found wanting. And in terms of now, he's now playing in MLS. and I don't really see the difference between him and Cristiano Ronaldo, because the MLS is pretty similar to the Saudi League in terms of its like potential retirement league, earns a bag load of money. And obviously the fact is a record eighth is ridiculous. I think Messi's one of the best players of all time. So I think like that's a phenomenal achievement in itself. But I just think the fact that Erling Haaland scored over 50 goals last season and they won a treble with Manchester City, I just feel as if it should have been awarded to Erling Haaland. And in terms of the other awards, I think Bellingham fully deserves of the best young player in the world, and because his goal scoring record last season and helping them win a treble for Manchester City. And then obviously Emi Martinez for Argentina and Aston Villa. I thought he was outstanding because he's proven that Aston Villa are now in Europe. And obviously, like you touched on earlier, 12 league wins at home in a row, which is unheard of. And obviously his key save in the World Cup final against Koala Moani made sure that Argentina won the World Cup. Yeah, so that's my thoughts on the Ballon d'Or.
Yeah. What about you, Tommy? Do you agree with them all? Do you think somebody else should have got an award? What do you think?
I kind of agree with all the awards because I think a lot of people misunderstand that Messi performance. It's for the best player award, not the best goal scorer, not the best stats award. It's for the best. If you actually watch football, you understand that Messi won it, and it was not even close. Because yes, Haaland got a record-breaking result, a treble win, but he was nothing without De Bruyne. De Bruyne was the best player at Man City. He won the best playmaker award because he created everything Haaland did, and the team around Haaland. If he was playing for like a team like PSG, and he didn't have Messi. Look at PSG after Messi left. Mbappe was not putting up the stats. So I feel as if people misunderstand Messi's performance for PSG. He was very good at goal contributions and creating chances and that. And that's what Messi's about. And he won the World Cup, so I would say it was well deserved.
Yeah, I'm kind of in between with this one. Because I get both sides, obviously with Messi winning the World Cup, that's him completed football, you know, um, and it kind of like it's just and like what he's done for football as well. I don't know. I just think with this Ballon d'Or that he won this year, I think it was more just like like a thank you in terms of like the fact what he's done for football. I don't think. I mean, you can't base it on what he's done for the full year because at club level, he hadn't really done. He didn't really have a good. He didn't have a good time at PSG, and into Miami. You don't really. You're not involved in the Ballon d'Or kind of conversation if you're in the MLS. So, but I understand. The fact that he did leave. Kind of take Argentina to the World Cup. He captained them to win it. And he did have a big kind of influence in the World Cup as well. So I don't know. It's hard. I still can't make my mind up if he did deserve it or not. But what we can say definitely is this is going to be his last Ballon d'Or award. I think we're not going to see him win it again. So yeah. So yeah, don't really know. But in terms of other awards, I agree with them all. Maybe Emiliano Martinez. I'm not quite sure. I don't really know if you can base it on just one tournament to win the best goalkeeper of the year. I think Ederson, for example, he won the treble. Quite a few other goalkeepers that could have been, ahead of Martinez. But in terms of other results, awards, I do agree with them all. So yeah, we'll definitely have a different Ballon d'Or winner next year. So it'll be interesting to see who it is. So for the final part of the show, Pearse will give his Asian football roundup.
Yeah, so we had match day 35 of the Key League One. So on Saturday, 20th of October, we had Jumping United Motors 1, Pohang Steelers 1, Gangwon FC 1, Jeju United 1, Gwangju FC 0, Incheon United 2. And then on Sunday, the 20th of October, we had Suwon Samsung Blue Wings 2, Daejeon Hana Citizen 2, Ulsan Hyundai 2, Daegu FC 0, Suwon FC 3, FC Seoul 4. And that's leaving the table looking like this. So at the top half of the table, Ulsan Hyundai With the slip out of Pohang, were now crowned champions of the K-League 1, and it's the first time in their history that they've retained back-to-back, retained their title. So they're at top of the table with 70 points, 10 points ahead of Pohang Steelers with only 3 matches remaining. And then Gwangju are now sitting in third position on 57 points. So in terms of the bottom half of the table and the relegation scrap, you've got Suwon Samsung Blue Wings at the foot of the table on 26 points, and Gangwon FC in 11th on 27, and Suwon FC in 10th position on 32 points. So in terms of J-League 1 action, Friday 27th October, we had Nagoya Grampus 1, Sagan Tusu 1. Saturday 20th October, we had Hoikuro Constable Sapporo 2, Yokohama FC 1. Avispa Fukuoka 0, Yokohama F Mariners 4. Cereals Osaka beat Gambo Osaka 1-0 in the Osaka Derby. Kashi Antlers 0, Urare Diamonds 0, Kyoto Sanga 0, Alberts Nagata 1. Shonan Bellmare 1, Vassel Kobe 1. FC Tokyo 1, Sanfrecce Hiroshima 2. And on Sunday, the 20th October, we had Kawashiro Reysol 1, Kawasaki Frontale 1. So this is now match day 31 of the J-League 1, and obviously only 3 matches remaining, the same as the Korean division. So Vassel Kobe slipped up the weekend. They managed to nick a draw in the end against Shonan Bellmare, who are fighting the flies down at the bottom of the table. And that allowed Yokohama Mariners to now close that gap from 5 points down to 2 points in the race for the title. So we've got Vassel Kobe at the top of the table on 62 points, Yokohama Mariners in second, 60 points, and then we've got third position Uberada Diamonds on 54 points, and then closely followed behind them by Sanfrecce Hiroshima and Nagoya Grampus in 4th and 5th respectively, both on 51 points. So in terms of relegation battle, we've got Yokohama FC at the foot of the table on 18th position on 26 points, Shonan Bellmare 17th on 28, and then Kawashiro Reysol in 16th position on 30. And then just above them, you've got Kyoto Sanga in 15th position on 33 points, and in 14th position, Gambo Osaka on 34. So it's set for a fantastic finale in both the Korean and Japanese first divisions, and in terms of both relegation and the title chances and European Champions League place, Asian Champions League places. Sorry. So in terms of other Asian football news, the K-League 1 has decided to increase the number of players of the substitutes list to 9 starting from the 2024 season. That will be the K-League 1 only. Yeah, so Gwangju FC manager Lee Jeon-Hyo has said that he would like to take on a managerial position in an overseas league like Ange Postecoglou in the future. He is currently learning Japanese and English. Pohang Steelers game last weekend could result in a forfeit. In that game, Pohang used a substitute player without the player being substituted out due to a mistake by the coaching staff. The game continued like this for 6 minutes. Pohang brought on a substitute player to replace Kim Young-hwan, who was receiving treatment outside the sidelines. However, the name substituted to the referee by the staff was Kim In-sung, not Kim Young-hwan. Kim In-sung played for 6 minutes without knowing this. So South Korea and Bayern Munich defender Kim Min-Jae is ranked 22nd for the 2023 men's Ballon d'Or. Kim, 26, had a stellar year at both Napoli and Bayern. So at Napoli, he won the Serie A before moving to German giants at Bayern Munich, where he's formed a formidable partnership with Matthias de Ligt. What an achievement to rank so high, and is the first Asian defender to ever be nominated for the FIFA Ballon d'Or. Yeah, so incredible achievement. So FC Machida Zelvia have been crowned as J-League 2 champions and will be in the J-League 1 next season. An unbelievable achievement for the club, as this will be set to make their debut campaign in the J-League 1 starting in the 2024 season. So exciting times to have another club in the J-League 1. So FC Tokyo are the latest J-League 1 club to adopt a new modern club crest. It received mixed reviews online from fans, as they've loved the classic badge that the capital club was synonymous for. So FC Tokyo's slogan for the new unveiling of the badge is a new chapter, a new emblem, a new SC Tokyo. And that's all your Asian football news.
Thank you, Pearse, and thank you, Tommy, for coming on today.
My pleasure.
Really good debut. Thank you, everyone, and thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode of the Football Chuggu Podcast. This podcast will be available to listen to on the Football Chuggu website and also the Football Chuggu YouTube channel. Thanks for listening, and see you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye, everyone.